Hi, this is Megan Chisholm. Today I'm sharing with you my shared leadership project for Dr. Crosby's class in my leadership class and for GSW. So today I'm looking at positive and negative attributes of my school climate based on Levin and Strum's pages 147 and 148. I'm pretty sure those were the page numbers. I made an outline for myself to stay on track. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. I went ahead and connected each of Knoll's adult learning theories to each of my positive and negative attributes, just because it made sense to me to organize it in that way. And I liked connecting Knoll's theories to the text and articles that I found. And so I'm going to jump in. Positive attribute number one, the level of trust among teachers. So connecting to Knoll's, this helps with self-concept. Adults want to be autonomous and self-directed. And so I found an article about relationships and trust among teachers and how it influences autonomy in education. And so at my school, there is definitely a level of trust among my sixth grade math department where we can be very transparent and honest and open. And it's allowed some really awesome leadership and collaboration to take place. Positive attribute number two, respect between teachers and students. This is an expectation in my community, a mutual respect between teachers and students. This helps teachers feel confident and to build on prior experience. And so the connection to the article, when teachers work together, and I found when teachers and students are working together, I found a article specifically on mathematics instruction about productive relationships between teachers and students and how these ideas build on student safety and their willingness to take risk. Positive attribute number three, the administrator's contributions to the workplace. And I have some really awesome administrators in my school. My specific math department administrator is just really down to earth, and he loves to let us kind of take charge and just guide us in ways we need to be guided. But then letting us have some autonomy is really awesome. Our administrators go above and beyond to make our workplace positive and engaging for the teachers and the students. My connection to Knoll's with this was effective administrators recognize the benefit of acknowledging teacher autonomy, social safety, and connection. So that's the need to know. Connection article I found. It's about how really the social structures of school and the implications of administrators really working toward those ideals. And so I really appreciated how that article tied all of those things together and connected to Knoll's as well. And so how teacher experiences, administrator support enriches the teacher experience, and I get to have that experience at my school. Positive attribute number four, the collaboration between educators and support personnel. So I do have a co-teach setting in one of my classes, and she is a certified math teacher with a lot of experience. And so it's been really wonderful working with her. She and I bounce ideas back and forth in front of the students. It helps them to stay engaged and to feel like they can try different strategies, make mistakes, and we have great conversations because we are really modeling those conversations for our students in real time. And so this article really spoke to that. It also kind of spoke to how co-teachers should have experience and how they can become prepared in order to do that position. And so I'm blessed to have a co-teacher who understands the benefits of that. Positive attribute number five. Five is the level of collegiality. I've been practicing that word. Connection to Knoll's. I love it though. Connection to Knoll's. Adults learn best when collaborating and learning from one another's prior experiences. So again, that feeds into kind of my attribute number one, where we have that certain level of trust and appreciation for each other's experiences. I found an article that's about peer-to-peer professional development, and so that spoke to me because one of the things I love about my school system is we break off into teams. My sixth grade math teachers and we went to professional development in Atlanta for a day. Actually got a hotel room, and the county provided it, and we were able to collaborate in that setting, and then bring those ideas back to our school setting, and also across grade levels in higher education up to high school, and really work with some other teachers and share those ideas. And I feel like we learn best from each other. And so that was a really cool experience. Negative culture. So here's a disclaimer. There are negative things, of course, about every school system. I chose to be where I'm at. I was in a very affluent school before with very high test scores, and it was a great experience as well. I have a lot of friends still there, but I chose where I'm at, and so it's not without its negatives. But overall, I love where I teach. So negative attribute number one, contentment with the physical plant. So we are in a tiny little rural school system. We're a 2 stoplight town, no Walmart, no McDonald's. We have a very low tax base as far as commerce goes, and so we have some money issues that we're dealing with. And so I found an article about how the federal government they're taking some steps toward protecting rural communities due to these unique things that we face as far as finances go. And it's true, according to Knowles, it's hard for adults to function in the environment. Lack of agreed upon goals, outcomes, and objectives. So one of the things my ELA department specifically deals with is that the learning targets are changed constantly without teacher input. Luckily, the math department doesn't face this as much. Our goals were made for us one year, which was really awkward. And then they didn't make the goal, and the county went back and said, "Oh, never mind. Just say it was a learning year and this or that." So lesson learned. They're trying to reinvent the wheel sometimes, which is frustrating because there are so many really awesome school systems out there doing good things. So just reinventing it or trying to constantly change things up makes for a frustrating situation, and it does impact student achievement. And so I found an article about how principals, instructional leadership practices, and Title I rural schools, which speaks specifically to my school, has such an impact on objectives and goals and outcomes. Negative attribute number 3 is lack of substantive focus. So this kind of speaks onto that same idea as attribute 2. And so it's very hard to stay engaged as a teacher. So this is my connection to Knowles. It's hard to stay engaged as a teacher when the goals and objectives are constantly changing. It feels like you're just on a spinning wheel and constantly trying to catch up to the changing ideas and among the whole school system, that can get pretty frustrating. It's hard to keep focus on that. And so I found an article that speaks specifically to concept maps. And in our case, our ELA department is given a concept map basically with the script, and they're having a really hard time. It's hard to watch that. They have no autonomy in that case. And so it's been hard to watch teachers who have taught for 20, 30 years struggle in that environment. Luckily in math, and my math department is not like that. I'm able to come up with a lot of my own goals and branch out from my own professional development. Attribute number 4 is low school-wide student achievement. So overall, we do have low student achievement, and we kind of have the have and the have-nots. And so we're trying to bridge those gaps for students with in low SES households in a very rural setting. We're all kind of spread out from each other, so it's hard to know at times just how serious the needs are in some of the households among our students. And so I found a article about the effect of teacher social and emotional competencies on student academic achievement, and so how my relationships can affect students' overall outcomes. And I try to keep a positive attitude, even though I have been very discouraged in the past over some of my state test scores, even though my county test scores and my diagnostic assessments have shown tremendous growth at the state level. We're having a harder time in our school system. Negative attribute number 5, lack of central office support. So I found an article specifically how superintendents affect the outcomes of teaching and learning and professional development in school systems. And we do have a brand new superintendent. He lives 4 hours away, he commutes, and goes home on the weekends to his farm. And so he's about to retire. He kind of took this on at the very end of his career. For whatever reason, we've had some interesting professional learning experiences, development. It felt very, according to Knowles, too, I related this so much. It was very top down. They did a needs assessment, and I think they misinterpreted the results. So it left a lot of confusion. We ended up having the teachers, the entire school system, the teachers had to go through consumer, that they had to go through the whole customer service class. It was really odd. And we've all been trying to figure out exactly where that came from, but we've not figured it out yet. And so that was definitely a negative type of thing. They've also created a lot of new jobs in the central office, like logistics manager. And so there's been some interesting things happen. We're becoming very top heavy in my county. Overall, in conclusion, I went ahead and connected all of my ideas to Knowles Adult Learning Theories, because I just felt like through the entire presentation and thought process, that's just kind of how I organized my thoughts. It was really interesting to connect Knowles theories with how I learn as an adult and the things that I need with the assessment of my school system and my school. And so I really made some interesting connections among my relationships with my peers and my support from my administrators with these theories, and also even at a county level, and how the superintendent's decisions have really affected me as a teacher, as an adult, and as an adult learner. And these are my references. My document link is here. And so I will also submit that on SLL. And so thank you for listening. Have a great day and Merry Christmas.